Okay, here we go. So let's try to make the OS design approach in using pattern. So that means kind of like I can call it like pattern puzzle approach, because you play with the pattern and try to make like a puzzle to make match really perfectly its shape together and get a new volume, the new design, and something interesting. In starting from from your base, like for example here, this is like a regular shirt. So this is typically like the base of the straight fit of a straight fit of shirt, straight fit of the shirt. So with a regular sleeve and regular color, so everything is like basic. And so I decided to start it from that shirt, and I'm gonna try to play with every shape and every curve of the pattern to get something new and to make match everything together. So let's start. So anyway, I consider that there is no wrong issue. There is no wrong answer, so let's see the result. So I just want to make myself really free and just try something, and just like using my brain, of course, because it's going to be kind of like precise approach, because the pattern is like a 50% scaling. It's going to be easier to, if you do something wrong, you can just redo from scratch, and you are not losing a lot of time. So the aim is to don't think too much and at the same time think a bit, of course. So let's start. So here we go. So we can imagine like this is a real scaling, and so this is my fabric, my real fabric, and so I have to consider I don't want to lose and I don't want to waste any piece of fabric. Let's start. So let's start, for example, by the sleeve. So one thing I can do here, I can just have a look at the shape of the sleeve. So what I can figure out is, well, there is a kind of like curve here, which can bother me later, and and here as well there is a curve. So I have in my mind, I have in my idea, I want to cut the sleeve here, and I want to get that shape, that curvy shape, in the bottom of my shirt, because it reminds me the like historical finishing of the menswear shirt. It's liquid finishing, this kind of curve. So I'm gonna draw on my fabric directly the shape of my sleeve, and I'm gonna divide my sleeve in two parts, left and right, and I'm gonna cut out that part. So here we go. I place my pattern, so only the edge of my pattern. So this is like the edge of my fabric, the grain line. So I'm gonna put the middle of my sleeve right on the way of my grain line, and so this is like about straight here, because this is a toile, a muslin, so it's not really straight, but it's gonna be really straight once you reuse the real fabric. So now I put the middle of my sleeve on the way of my grain line, and I'm gonna draw the shape of my sleeve. Okay, and here I just cut out that part. I don't consider that part anymore. And now I'm gonna take my ruler to keep the same line and to be able to draw my cutting line. Okay. So this is, now I just worked with that part. I can just forget that part. Still I have to place the left part and the higher part, the top part, but so we are gonna see it's level. Then, so maybe I can take my front. I can take my front, and one thing maybe it's good to do is like just to keep that line as a reference line. So maybe I can just place my pattern like straight on the bottom, just to don't lose any part, and from attach the middle front on that point. And so maybe because I want to keep as a reference that line, I can draw my front from here to here. But I told you before I was about take off that shape to put that shape on the bottom of my shirt. So I can put it right now and I can draw it like okay. So that I can just keep the remind of the shape of my sleeve, and then I can draw my front from here to here. So here we go. And then I stop. And from here, I can put my sleeve here, I place my sleeve here, and I can draw the shape of my sleeve. Okay. So now I did that part and that part. Still I have to draw that, I have to place that part and that part. And for the front, what I did is that part. Okay. And now here there is like a weird empty part. So okay, let's keep it and let's say it's gonna become my middle front. Okay, my middle front, the bottom of my middle front will take this kind of shape, like something crazy, something weird, something new. Anyway, so then, I have to place the top part of my front. So here is like a bit like a waste of fabric. So why not turn my front like that? I don't know. Let's see. And so yeah, why not? And then, so before you have to put that line as a reminder. So this is your baseline, new baseline. So okay, then so let's turn the pattern and let's try to place the pattern. So here there is still a kind of waste of fabric, so maybe I can just attach the pattern like that. And then, so here there is a distance between the top part of my bottom, of the bottom of my front, and the new top part of my front. So maybe I can just try to connect both between each of them, and let's see after what will happen. I don't know. This is just a design approach, so I don't have to be such a, like, I just have to be curious, okay? Just try. So I'm gonna try. So here I just have to pay attention. That corner is connecting with that line, and here it's really like that shoulder line is really along the grain line, along the edge of the fabric. And here we go. So from that part, because that part we don't need that part anymore, it's already here. So from that line, so I'm gonna draw my new front, and from that line too. So here we go. Let's draw. Let's draw the neckline. And here, so because I don't want any gap, and because I won't keep the connection between the bottom part and the top part, so I'm going to connect my top and my bottom together. So I just want to draw something, maybe something smooth. I don't want to get any angle or something, so I just try to draw a curvy shape just to connect both lines together. So now my front, the middle front of my bottom is kind of already new because I changed the shape of my middle front, and the top part of my middle front is getting also a new shape. So, and let's see what will happen after. Okay, so now that part is done, and I place all my front, so I don't have to care about my front anymore. Okay, so yeah, I can take off. Yeah, so one thing I can try to continue to draw the top of my sleeve, and then it's gonna be done, and I can forget it. So this is the right part. Let's draw it. Okay, this is done. So when I forget to draw that line, it's important. That line, I'm gonna draw that line. Okay, and that line, and that line too. Okay, so that corner is connecting with that corner. Okay. So then when you move the pattern, I'm gonna do like that. So we're gonna get something real here and here and here. So let's see. So maybe I can try to place the other side of my sleeve. So I know how to get that shape, the right side, and now I need to get the left side. So from that time, what I can do is like maybe do like that. I can just like place the edge of the sleeve with the edge of the bottom, and I can just draw the line. So this is already done, and then I have to draw the line. And now we can see I'm keeping the same line, just to don't make it so complicated, because then it's going to be difficult to avoid the waste of fabric. So until the middle of my sleeve, until here, okay. And then I can just like prolong with a ruler, looking straight. And before, so I wanted to get more volume, like I wanted to do something with my side, like to gain some volume. So maybe like again, so I just got that new space. So because I want to keep that line as a baseline, maybe I can just join both, point each other, and I don't know why, but just let's consider like that side and that side will be the bottom of my front. So maybe I can just maybe I will try to fold the fabric, or is like if there is like something impossible to do, maybe I will just try to leave the fabric fold, and we are gonna get kind of hole here. I mean under the arm. So let's see, maybe it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so here I get my sleeve here, so I can just like put a mark like sleeve and mark the sense of the fabric. This is the memory. Here this is like the front, bottom front. Okay, so I don't remind the center front because I want to change the center front to get the new volume. So here, like there is a 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter as a button tab. So I can just keep the same proportion, same measurements. So, but then when I will cut my fabric, I will consider like my new center front is here. Okay, just to keep kind of reminder of the pattern. Something like that. Well. Okay. So then this is my first one, my bottom front. This is the head of my sleeve. And this is the other side of my sleeve, going that way. Here I'm going to write on the opposite side because the way is different. Now, so my sleeve is done, my front is done, then let's focus on the back. So, like, the more logic way to place the back should be in that way. Okay? So, and of course I have to connect my shoulder line with the bottom line of my top front. Something like that. If I do that, so there is two options, so I can just be like that, and then I'm gonna get something a bit weird because I don't know, I don't feel that proportion. So I want to start from the finishing of the curve. I want to put the edge of my armhole, the top of my armhole, I want to put it at the end of that line, at the beginning of the curve, so here. And then I want to connect the shoulder line to the center front. So the position of my pattern is getting like that, in that way. Okay? So of course I don't respect the grain line, but in the zero waste approach we don't have to respect the grain line every time, because maybe okay, let's see, it's another way to see the, and maybe the volume will get different. And it's gonna be interesting, especially if you use some stripe or any pattern. If you, like check stripes, it will be interesting to change the way. I'm gonna get something new at your design. Okay, so let's put it like that. Right here, I'm gonna get an empty space too. But it doesn't matter because what I did here, I just got a lot of additional volume on my front. Okay, and what I did here, what I'm doing here for so far, I wanted, maybe it's not a bad idea to get an additional volume here. But I know, like, if I change that line, if I continue my armhole, I'm gonna gain about 1 centimeter, 0.5. That means I have to change a bit the shape of my armhole. Okay, but let's do it after. So now, okay, I just decided to go in that way, so I'm gonna draw the outline of my pattern, the cutting line of my pattern. So from here, I prolong straightly. Okay, so I don't need to draw that line. And just as a reminder, so far, I don't know really what will happen in that part. So far, I just, as a reminder, draw the corner of my back. Here I can draw and then because it's straight, then I just only can draw the corner of my top, or the top of my back and the bottom of my back. So then let's take out the back. So then what I told is, like, because I did 1.5 centimeters, I have to change I have to add some distance at my sleeve. So this is my back, okay? And so this is my back side. So the only way to add, like, maybe the safer way to add additional volume and the necessary distance in my sleeve is to add something only on the back, not on the front, because the front doesn't change. Okay, so it seems to be logical. So what I want to do is that I want to move the sleeve 1 centimeter, 0.5 on the left. Then I keep that line and continue to draw. That, and so this is my median of my sleeve, and then I continue to draw. Continue to draw the same line for my front. Okay, so my line is changing a bit. Okay, so here I can just cancel my millimeter. Okay, and here it's nothing anymore. Okay, so the sleeve is done. So at the end, I want to get something like a square or something really straight here. So this is my highest point, so I can just consider, so at least my pattern, back of my pattern should get this shape. Okay, that means here that it's gonna have a gap, but it's okay. It's okay. If it's like that, it's like that. So let's draw. Let's draw. Okay. So that means I'm gonna add some centimeter here on my collar line for the back. Collar neckline for the back. Oh yeah, and something I have to do. I added some centimeters here in the head of my sleeve. That means my sleeve is getting bigger. Okay. So I have to change the size of my sleeve too. Not only the head, not only the size of my sleeve too. So I'm gonna add something really simple. I'm just gonna add 1 centimeter from further here, and let's see, just to get something balanced. This is my new line. So now I can just as a mark draw this is the outline of my square.